Hello, my name is Liz Melnick, and I am a math teacher at Dublin Jerome High School, and this is the Student Network and Internet Accessible Use and Safety Policy that I found from the district's website. This is the copy that includes the proposed changes that I have made to the policy. The first change that I made is, and all of my changes are going to be highlighted in blue, or in the blue of bold ink. The first change that I made, or the first issue that I wanted to address, was that staff members shall provide instruction for their students regarding the appropriate use of technology and online safety. And the policy didn't talk about how staff members were going to get this information. So I said that in order for staff members to provide this instruction, they need to be knowledgeable in this content area. I work with a lot of teachers who are not comfortable integrating the internet within their own instructional practices. So for staff members to be teaching students about internet safety, staff members need to feel comfortable with that information. Therefore, I said that professional development also needs to be a part of the teachers getting that information. And as Willer said, educators need access to the information because without them knowing the information, they can't share it with their students. The next thing I wanted to point out was it says students shall receive education about the following. And one of the issues that I saw with this was it doesn't address how students are going to be receiving this type of information. Yes, it's our job as teachers to be educating students, but educating students about the internet is not something that's really a common discussion when we're talking about curriculum. I know all we're hearing right now is Common Core standards and getting ready for PARCC assessments, but we don't really talk about like the NETs or the new ISTE national technology standards. So that's not really a normal conversation that's being had by educators. So when we're expected to be, providing programs for students about internet safety and responsible use of technology, the only program that I can currently think about was the freshman advisory program that we have at my school, where some PowerPoint presentations are provided to students about internet safety, but I feel that these presentations are very dry and not very effective, and I suggested that there needs to be a need for more hands-on even simulations or open discussions with students about this issue instead of just like presenting it over a PowerPoint presentation. And I also said that the education needs to be continuous and not something that's just provided to a freshman class and supposed to be applicable for the next 4 years. Simply because since technology is continuously changing, so should the updates and the discussions that we should be educating our students on when using the internet and providing the information for safe use. Another issue I wanted to address with my school's current plan or my district's current plan was this next thing that I highlighted, that students shall not access social media for personal use. Students and teachers and my entire district is all about using Twitter right now. The district has a Twitter account, my school has a Twitter account, teachers, my colleagues are also using it for educational purposes, and I'm really finding that the educational and social media world have pretty much just interconnected at this point. So I just think that this policy needs to be rewritten because I find it difficult that students are just going to use Twitter to read school announcements without also finding out what's going on with their friends and reading their latest tweets. So I just felt like the language on this policy just needs to be revisited. Another thing also, I highlighted students may not establish web-based email accounts. I find this one just a little funny because we are currently in the process of becoming a Google Apps for Education district, and it was even, in the past we've encouraged students to create Gmail accounts just because it creates a lot of collaborative opportunities for students. It's very user-friendly. Students are constantly using their Google Drive in order to share documents with students and collaborate on projects. So again, I just just think that this language needs to be revisited, especially since it says, as an example, Gmail, when we are actually all moving to Gmail, students and staff within our district. Another thing I wanted to bring up was the network etiquette. It says network needs to be used in a way that doesn't disrupt the operation of the network. I only bring this up just because in the fall when the iPhone iOS update was released, every student with an iPhone seemed to be updating it using the school's wireless network, which ended up jamming it up, and we had a very, very slow internet day. And so we just need to address, maybe as an example, they talk about, sending chain letters or mass emails. I don't really think those are good examples, and maybe that language just needs to be updated with also including updating operating systems on phones. Another thing I also wanted to make note of was about the wireless communication devices. Policies 5136 address the use of personal electronic devices in school. And Dublin is a BYOD district, bring your own device. Students are encouraged to bring their own educational or bring their own devices to use as educational tools in the classroom, but something that I think needs to be addressed within the policy overall is that the policy only seems to be talking about the network, the internet that's provided by the school, where I think we also need to be talking about policies when students are using internet by their own private providers like AT&T and Verizon, and that's really not brought up within this actual document, but instead is in a separate document under policies 5136, and it says in that students can't be using their cell phones to get on sites that are otherwise blocked on the school's internet. But like I said, the students are using their phones and tablets now more than they're using the school's actual devices, the school's computers or the school's laptops. So I think attention within this acceptable use policy also really just needs to be on personal devices too. And also under the etiquette piece, we also need to be educating students about when it's appropriate to be on their phone and when it's like inappropriate or rude, especially since we are preparing them for situations when they are done with school, when they're in a job, when it's going to be inappropriate or appropriate to have their phone out. So again, in the blue and the bold, those are the changes that I've made, and I highlighted the policies that I felt like needed to be addressed. Thank you.